get into this video, you guys are going to notice that I'm like wearing the same shirt. You guys are going to see it in a couple other videos, but this makeup look is a little bit different. All I did was add some glitter to the eyes, add on a wing, and change my lip color since I am filming multiple videos today. I'm just really on my film grind today. But anyways, let's get into the topic of this video. So, if you guys don't like rant videos or like trigger videos, then I probably wouldn't watch any further because I have a feeling that this video might potentially piss some people off. Let's just be real. Basically, I'm just going to try to like talk about everything that's kind of been on my mind and I don't know, start from the beginning of what brought me here to YouTube. A lot of you guys ask questions, some of you guys leave comments, you know, things like that, and I kind of want to respond to everyone because I'm not ignoring anybody. YouTube is just hard, you guys. I'm just going to be real. It's one of those places where you literally put yourself out there for everyone in the world to judge you. So YouTube is not a place for people who don't have thick skin and can't take some negativity, because your girl has caught some negativity, continues to catch it, and will forever catch it as long as I choose to do this, which is something I love, and I do choose to do it. What brought me to YouTube? If you guys don't know my backstory, I'm just going to tell you guys. I do have 2 videos up speaking on the topic, but the way I feel about it is I can never talk about my kids too much. So, in 2015, my husband and I lost a son. I'll start back in 2014. So in 2014, my husband and I got married. We decided that we were going to expand our family. I have a daughter from a previous relationship. You guys have seen her all over YouTube. She's getting ready to be 7 in April. And my husband served in the military for 4 years. And that man, I don't know anybody more deserving of a family than that man. So we decided, let's try for a kid. We did. We got pregnant pretty quickly. Actually, I want to say like 2 months after we got married, so really quickly. And everything was going good. We went in for like our 20-week ultrasound where you guys get to see everything and you learn the sex. And they told us we were having a boy. We were super ecstatic, me especially, because I already have a little girl. And so, I don't know, things just, it didn't feel right. You know how, like, where you're in a doctor's office and they, like, not telling you things, and they get the genetics doctor in there, and she's scanning, and she's like, well, you have some low fluid, and, you know, the baby's kidneys look a little on the larger side, which is not normal. So what I was devastated. I felt my heart sink, and my husband was so positive through the entire thing. Literally so positive. Sorry, you guys. I do not want to cry this video, but it is super emotional, so I think it's unavoidable. So anyways, I wish that I felt the way that he felt with the positivity, but I wasn't. I was like instantly negative. I was like, what is this? So, through further ultrasounds, I can't say testing because they can't really test while the baby's in utero, they felt that it was a genetic disorder called PKD, which is polycystic renal failure, where your kidneys don't develop properly because they develop with tons of cysts in the kidneys. Now, this was just going based off of like a theory, kind of, because they didn't know for sure until the baby got here. So, our first son, we named him Grayson. At about 32 weeks, 6 days, I was just at a normal checkup where I get hooked up, you know, and you can listen to the heart and stuff, but they monitor movement. So one of my friends was actually meeting me at the Fridays up the street for my birthday. So my birthday was March 5th. This was March 6th of 2015 that I was in the office. And my OB was like, you got to go to the main campus, which was just down the street. It was the genetics office that I go to as well. She's like, because Grayson isn't giving me the movement that I want. It's not bad, but like, I want to see more. So I want them to hook you up and they can see you on the screen and monitor him. So I'm like, okay. I go there and they're scanning me. And at this point, my friend had met me up there because I'm like, you know what? Just meet me here and then we'll go from here to lunch. I don't want you just sitting up at Fridays. So they're scanning me, and after about 15 minutes, 3 other doctors come in the room. And they're like, we've called over to Rainbows, and they're waiting for you. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rainbow Babies if you don't live in, like, the Cleveland area, but it is obviously a hospital where they specialize in, you know, premature labor, premature babies, sick babies, emergency situations. So it's just a really good hospital, and the hospital that I had to deliver at was right next door. It was McDonald's Women's Health Hospital. So the doctor is kind of like lightweight getting irate with me, and he's like, you gotta go, like rushing me, which is so scary. If you've ever been pregnant, like, I'm just trying to like let everything sink in, and I'm crying and I'm upset and I'm hysterical, and I'm like, I gotta call my husband. I don't know what's going on. Why do you guys want me to go there? And my friend finally turned around and looked at the doctor, and she's like, no disrespect, but you have got to get off of her case. I will drive her there, but she has to let this process, like, and sink in, and you, like, yelling at her to, like, go is not helping the situation. So anyways, my friend ended up driving me out there, and of course, I suffer from severe anxiety, and at this point, some pretty bad depression. So I'm in the car, and I'm just like, Shannon, what is going on? You know, like, is Grayson okay? She doesn't have the answers to this, but like, I don't know, I was just all over the place. So we get there and they're scanning me again and monitor me again. And like I said, I had no fluid. So it's a little bit hard to move in a dry area. So they're just like, we're going to start you on Pitocin. And I'm like,
wait, what?
We're going to start you on Pitocin. And I'm like, yeah, no, he's not ready to come out. You know, like, I'm 32 weeks. What are you guys talking about? And they're like, well, we really think we need to get him out. Okay, so at this point, I've got both my arms out. People are taking my blood pressure and starting IVs on me, and I'm being scanned, and I am terrified. Now, I had called my husband all the way up to the hospital, and I'm like, hey, babe, you got to meet me up there. He works in downtown Cleveland, so I'm like, he'll be there by the time we get there. At this point, I'm losing my crap. All of me left. And I forgot who I was, what was going on. All I knew is, like, this is not happening right now. Like, this is insane. My friend is bawling her eyes out. We had already called my mom and my sister. Like, we called everybody who needed to be there. Selena's at school. And I am like, I gotta call somebody. I called her dad. That's something that I won't air out or put out on, you know, social media. But it just didn't work out to where he could get her. So one of my best friends, Brittany, took her. I think my mom actually picked her up from school, maybe, and Brittany got her. I don't really remember all of that, but she was safe. She was fine. So the doctor leaves and comes back in, and she's like, well, we have the OR ready for you. And I'm like, hold on. We went from, we're going to start you on Pitocin to, we have a surgery room waiting for you. Now I'm really losing my crap. And they're like, at this point, they're holding me and telling me I have to calm down. Like, please, let me ask you, how do you calm down in a situation like that? So I'm like, okay. Crap, where's my husband? So they're like, he's scrubbing up. He's here. And I'm like, thank God. So they wheel me in there. And, you know, at this point, they're like, got to give me the spinal tap to, like, numb me up. Because at this point, I'm having an emergency C-section. So I'm laying there, you know, the sheet's up, I can't see anything. My husband comes in and he sits next to me and he's just trying to keep me calm. How you can become in a situation like that, I have no idea. But my husband and that anesthesiologist managed to keep me as calm as possible. So I get the C-section, and they pull Grayson out, and I hear him cry. I heard him cry, and they hurry up, they show him to my husband, and they take him into the next room. Since he's early, they don't know if they're going to have to, like, work on him or anything like that. My husband makes sure I'm okay. He gets up, and he goes to go see our son. So I get all stitched back up. They send me back to my room. At this point, I have not seen Grayson. I only heard him cry, but my husband seen him, and he was like, you know, he was doing good. They were just taking the oxygen mask and like putting it on his face and like taking it off just to make sure he was okay. So an hour goes by and nothing. About an hour and a half after I've had the C-section, they're checking on me, and I'm like, where's my son? Is he okay? So they're like, well, he's next door at Rainbows, which you can just take a hallway through the hospital that I was in and get into Rainbows. And they're like, the operating team for, like, Grayson's operating team, which we had met with previously, we had a whole thing of, like, preparing before all of this, you know, with his kidneys and everything like that. So they're like, his team is going to come and talk to you, like, the doctor. So finally the doctor comes in, and he's like, Grayson's not doing good. I honestly felt like when he came in there that there was like a little bit of hope that he was going to be like, oh, well, he's doing great. But like, those are words you just don't forget. It's like it's new and fresh. And mainly because the dates just passed. My birthday, the 5th. Grayson's birthday, the 6th. He's like, he's not doing good, but we're going to let you guys see him. I promise you guys, it felt like 20 years. It was like 9 o'clock p.m. by the time we got to go down there and see him. He was heavily sedated, so he was sleeping. He opened his eyes like twice, and once he looked up at my husband, because my husband was here and I was down here, and I was determined to get up and like walk, and your girl got up and walked after a C-section. 2 hours after a C-section, I got up and walked because I wanted to see my son. And that pain was no pain compared to the pain that I was feeling for Grayson. So I spent time with my son. We had a priest come in, and we had our son baptized because that was just our preference. You know, that it was just something we wanted to do and spent time with him. I eventually, later on, it got really, really, really late. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I asked my nurse to take me back to my room so I could try and get some sleep, which I knew I wasn't going to get any sleep, but I felt like at this point, I needed to have a conversation with God. And I grew up going to church. I've always went to church. I haven't been in a while, but I used to go to church. So I was like, I gotta go pray. I gotta go have my conversation with the Lord. So my husband decided to stay in Grayson's room and spend the night with him and like just spend time with him. Cool. So I'm having my conversation with the Lord, and a lot of people probably don't believe this story, but I am telling you right now, God said, go and spend time with your son. Go and say goodbye to your son because he's going home. And it's one of those things where you think like, nope, he's going to be fine. There's miracle stories all the time. It's going to be fine. But I knew deep down that he would just be here suffering. So I knew that he wasn't going home with us. So I asked my nurse to come get me. At this point, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I had like no sleep because who can sleep? And I said, you gotta take me down there. I need to wake up my husband and like spend some time with my son. So she took me down there, and I was just like, you know, hugging him and taking pictures of him. And we kept a lot of everything that we were going through off of social media, but at that time I got on there and I was asking for prayers, and I had notified everyone and everyone of importance that like what was going on with him as much as we could and as much as we knew. So around like 7:30, my husband got up and I'm like, you got to say goodbye to your son. And I know he was looking at me like, what? But I said, babe, he's not going home. He's not getting any better. I'm watching his heart rate drop and everything like that. Like, you got to say goodbye. Which was really hard. And I'm pretty sure he felt some type of way about me telling him that. But we spent time with him, and I called my parents. He called his parents. You know, I got a hold of my sister, and then my other best friend, my sister, Tashina. You guys have seen her in multiple videos. My mom called her, and she came up from Pittsburgh the night before, like, to be with us and to come and see me. The hours, well, within the next hour, Grayson just wasn't doing good at all. His little heart rate had dropped down so far that when they came in, I was like, you guys just got to take him off of the breathing machine so we can hold him and say goodbye to him, because, like, your heart rate drops down to 23, you are not making it. That's just what it is. And it was not getting any better. It was just going down, and his oxygen level was going down. It was terrifying, but we wanted to hold him. So they took him off and got all the tape and everything off, and they gave him to us. And honestly, when they passed him to us, I'm not even sure that he was even breathing. I feel like as soon as they took him off the machine, he took his last breath, because he just couldn't fight anymore. But he was such a little fighter. Oh, he fought so hard for 19 hours. Our son was with us for 19 hours. And we spent time with him, and surprisingly, like, I was doing better than both my parents thought I was going to be doing. You know, everybody came, but everybody came and he was already gone. And everybody spent time with him and said his goodbyes, said their goodbyes to him. And I feel like the only reason why I was like semi okay at that point is because I had dealt with it kind of like the night before and that morning to like get myself through everything. So at this point, like, our son was gone. So this leads me into everything that my husband and I experienced after we lost our son. And I just got to tell you guys that if you're one of those people that goes onto people's videos and you comment nasty things, or you're on people's statuses and you comment nasty things, or you're just a nasty person, you might want to rethink the ugliness that you are pouring out into the world. Because I'm going to tell you right now, people don't need that crap. You need to go somewhere else with that. My husband and I experienced such nastiness from people. I lost friends, which realistically they probably weren't friends to begin with if that's how it went. I had a friend who created a GoFundMe account for the family to kind of like help us with bills and things like that. We got, you know, sympathy cards, gift cards, so that we could like go out to eat when we felt better, go to the movies, things like that, for my husband and I to bond and take our minds off of things like that. Because I don't know if you've ever been through a horrible situation like this or anything close to it, but a situation like this can make or break your marriage. And that is why I feel like till this day my husband and I are stronger than ever. We have buried 2 of our children, not 1, 2 of our children, and we still every day are connected. And you know, we have our ups and downs, but we fight through them because we done been through the worst together. At this point, there is nothing we can't get through. At this point, I am stronger than ever. And I feel like at the end of the day, maybe I thought I was super strong, but I wasn't. And I know now that I wasn't, because now your girl is untouchable. If you even think you can get to me, I'm letting you know right now, you can't, because you don't matter and you're irrelevant if you're coming to bring negativity in my life. This is a positive only zone. If you're negative, this is not the place for you. So after all of that, we had our GoFundMe. A lot of people donated. Realistically, we have a great support system, and we learned who should and shouldn't be in our life. I had a lot of people come at me, attacking me, what happened, what did we do, why did this happen, they didn't understand, and this is not for anybody to understand. We couldn't even understand it. I still don't really understand why this happened to us. I don't think I ever will, you know? All I know is that God must have something amazing for me in my life that maybe I'll never know. But where there is a will, there is a way, and there is something I am meant to be doing to have gone through such a painful thing twice. I had a person take their money back from my GoFundMe account, which I'm smiling about that because, boo-boo, you must have needed that $50 more than my family did. I was like viciously attacked by this person. We're not paying for your family to live lavish. We're not paying for you guys to buy a new home. We're not paying for you to wear Victoria's Secret pink clothing, paying for you to get your hair, your nails done, your makeup. First off, believe it or not, my husband and I don't own our home. We rent our home. My husband and I have home commitment issues, as funny as that sounds. We just don't want to buy a home and be stuck somewhere. And people can judge us and say we're throwing money away. Okay, well, it's our money to throw away. It's our choice on what we choose to do and how we choose to live. Nobody else pays our bills. Nobody else helps us around here. I don't see anybody else buying us a home to move into. It's just not something we're ready for. And we may never be ready for. We don't even know if we want to live in Ohio for the rest of our lives. Like, why does it bother everybody so badly on what we're doing? Is it affecting you? No. My clothes are my clothes. I choose to buy and wear what I want to buy. I shop at Walmart. I shop at the mall, Victoria's Secrets. It's my money, my choice. I work hard for this. My husband works hard for all of this. So we do what we want to do. You guys know I've always had my nails done. I cannot live without my nails, my lashes, and my hair. And everybody that knows me knows I have always been like that my entire life. So for those of you who feel like you need to comment on that, I'm going to tell you right now, step the F off. I have had enough. So moving on from that, shortly after everything, we were told that they felt like, because they did the testing for the PKD on Grayson, and it came back inconclusive. Like, it came back as nothing. Like, that it could have been that, and it may not have been that. So basically, speaking with the genetics doctors, we were told that this was just, seemed like one of those situations where it was a misfortune, and it probably wouldn't happen again. So basically, they told us, like, you're safe to try and get pregnant again. I'm gonna be honest with you, I was, like, scared. I'm like, I'm good. That was enough to have me shook where I'm like, I'm good. I love Selena. I have accepted that I'm only going to have one child. But my husband was like, come on, babe, we could try again. Which realistically, my husband doesn't have kids of his own. And that man should. So, okay.